Good afternoon, and a very warm welcome to Colworth Amateur Dramatic Society's 2020 production of Cut. You're in for an afternoon of murder, mystery and intrigue, and as you've no doubt become accustomed, top-notch acting and production, it says here. There's two acts to today's performance with a 20-minute interval at around 5:30, during which you'll be able to vote for who you would like to be guilty, as well as topping up your Christmas drinks and snacks. Now, whilst the professionalism of the cast and crew this afternoon is, as ever, second to none, this is the first time that we've been involved with YouTube. So if there are any technical issues, please bear with us and rest assured it's all YouTube's fault. So please sit back, relax, pour yourself that well-deserved festive eggnog and enjoy our production of Cut.
So it's 6, is it?
Yes. How many more times do I have to repeat? 6. 6 for dinner tonight. 6, including me, but excluding you.
Oh, 6 it is. It'll just be like the old days, Mr. Steinberger. You and Mrs. Steinberger, oh, what fine parties. Grand they were. Talk about style. Never seen such style here about. I remember.
Oh, do you think perhaps some other time?
Style, that was it. The finest table in the south of England, hunting parties, handsome young ladies in elegant gowns. So grand.
Mrs. Travesty, my guests are due any minute. Do you think you could save your reminiscences for some other time?
Does it hurt you too much to talk about it? You've been quiet and brooding man since your wife, the lovely but sadly bedridden Mrs. Steinberger, passed away.
Oh, my God.
The house was alive then. The smell of fresh flowers.
And bedpans.
And it had to end like this.
Like what?
Me, dismissed. You, a shadowy figure, preferring the haunts of London. The company of the likes of Fruity Metcalf.
What on earth are you talking about? I'm here. I'm having a dinner party, and you, Mrs. Travesty, have been re-employed for the evening to prepare it. Now, could you possibly...
There's been talk in the village, you know.
What sort of talk?
It doesn't matter. Grapefruit all right to start?
What sort of talk, Mrs. Travesty?
Followed by chicken au vin?
Mrs. Travesty, could you please explain what sort of talk in the village?
About the dear departed one.
My wife, do you mean?
The one that has gone on.
Mrs. Travesty, you're the only one that's going on. Well, presumably you're talking about the untimely death of my dear wife.
I'll see you all right. That's what she said to me. There'll be a place for you in my will, old Travers. That's what she said.
Old Travers?
A place in the will. And what happened to the will? It was never found.
It was never found because there wasn't one. Now, do you think you could get things organised in the kitchen so that when my guests arrive, they can eat at a reasonable time and not have the chance to consume every drop of sherry in the whole of Biggerhampton Manor before you are ready to serve?
Of course, sir. Right away, sir. Shall I get the wine from the cellar?
God, no. Last time we lost a whole chapter from the Bordeaux vintage. You just concentrate on dinner. Is Wolfrecht Schreibung, the famous special effects expert, back yet?
Nah, his train's probably late. Or he's been arrested for being a foreigner.
Now.
Seems we've been here long enough. Why doesn't he go back to his own country?
We've been working together.
Giving everyone the creeps, wandering around the village.
He is a guest in this house.
Sure it's not a bit? Mrs. Jones said her Brian started that way.
Brian?
And now, come the full moon, he howls.
Howls?
Ow! Like that.
My God, what was that?
Only Brian. Anyway, as I was saying, watch that Rex Schreibung person. Mark my words.
Look, enough now.
Mrs. Steinberger always used to say to me, it's funny.
Oh, what's funny?
No, it's funny what Mrs. Steinberger always used to say. I'll see you all right in my will. Travers, that's what she called me.
I know.
I'll see you all right. You'll want for nothing.
I'm sure she didn't put it quite like that.
Never want for nothing. And now, a few months after a tragic, strange, some villagers say, tragic death, where am I?
Well, I don't know. Where are you?
In a room above the butcher's, dismissed from my job here at Biggerhampton Manor. Only tiddles to keep me for company and not a lot coming in.
Tiddles?
The butcher's boy. It's a long story. Something to do with a meat cleaver. Anyway, Mr. Steinberger, this is 1935. 1935, don't you realise?
Of course. But think of it this way, Travers. I am re-employing you for tonight. That means money. When I film my next blockbuster cut at Biggerhampton Manor, you will be in sole charge of sandwiches for the cast and crew. No, don't thank me. And when I'm here and not in my London home, which I bought recently at gigantic expense, when I am here and there is a deal of mindless work to do, I will call you in, so don't worry.
Oh, thank you, sir. You make me feel a whole lot better. I always used to say to Mrs. S as I brushed her hair, beautiful hair she had.
Oh, do you think some other time?
What hair? Silky, silky like a purse. And talking about purses.
Mrs. Travesty, I am only too aware of the style, length, condition and colour of my wife's hair. It was a great loss.
That whole of her was. Peculiar that. Her getting more and more ill. And you keeping away like she was a leaper.
Leper.
Almost as if.
What, yes?
Nothing.
I think nothing is a very wise thing to say. After all, dear old Travers, who took my wife in a warm, comforting cup of Ovaltine every night for weeks before she slipped away.
That was me. You know it was.
Quite. Think about it in detail, but in your own time, not mine. Now, is there a slight possibility of your going to attend to the necessary details any minute now?
I suppose so. What's all this about then?
What is what all about?
The celebration.
I'm going away.
Oh, you're going away.
Yes, I'm going away.
Going away, Nobody told me nothing about going away. But nobody tells me anything.
Mrs. Travesty, do you think you could possibly answer that?
Of course, I got nothing else to do.
Good.
Crazy foreign clean his own bedroom in future. Oh, well, I never. Wolf, what's his name? He's back.
Ah, so you've arrived. How pleasant. How was London?
Appalling! Your trains are...
Oh, good. Your bedroom's still upstairs.
Really?
Oh, You've collected some more luggage. How long do you intend to stay?
Until the conversation is run out of.
Oh, better save it then. Come on, upstairs. I was just talking to Mrs. Travesty about the exciting decision to film Cut in this very manor house. It'll be special effects city. How's the work going on?
It goes well.
And when do you think?
Soon, soon. Excuse, please.
Mrs. Travesty, do you want to be paid for your services tonight?
Yes, please.
Then make sure you announce my guests in a fitting manner.
I'll make absolutely certain, sir. A Major Brown!
Thank you, Mrs. Travesty. Excellent. Ah, my dear Major, how lovely to see you again.
Steinberger, my dear chap. Dry night tonight. Know what I mean?
Oh, of course. Gin? Isn't it?
Yeah, as always. Oh, cold out there. Reminds me of a night I spent with my men, waiting for the Hun.
Ah, whatever. How are you settling into the village?
Fine, fine. The house is straight. Got myself a half-size billiard table now, so life is complete. Too old for any other sport nowadays, know what I mean?
Quite. Here's your drink.
Oh, thank you so much. Of course, there's not much company in the village. No billiard players anyway. I have to play with myself most of the time. So, what's this in Adolf Steinberger? Mrs. Travesty told me you're going away.
Yes, I'm going away.
Going away, eh? Well, well, what do you know? Going away.
Yes, I'm going away. Anyway, I think you'll find the other guests stimulating.
Dinner guests? Thought it was just a drink and a chance to look at the location for your new film. Not that I've got a part. Yet. Should have put on the old dinner jacket like you. Bad form, sorry.
Oh, no problem at all. But as I was saying, I think you'll find the company amusing. The vicar is coming.
Oh.
Yes, Reverend Let's Forget Grace and Get On With It Acorn will be here, and Darlene Withers.
Oh.
And a collaborator of mine, a certain Wolf Recht Schreibung.
Dodgy name. Bit of an egghead. Never had much time for those chaps. Damn cowards at the front.
He's Austrian.
Damn foreigner, eh?
And a friend of mine from London. A charming little lady.
Things are looking up.
Yes, called Adora Man. A dancer on the stage.
Top hole. Always thought I'd be rather good at that, but films came first. Funny lot, though. Do you know there was a chap in the entertainment corps used to dress up?
An actress.
By Joe Steinberger, how did you know?
Sorry? Oh, no, I see. No, I was saying Miss Adora Man is a dancer and an actress.
Oh, top hole. Put her next to me at dinner, Steinberger. You know what they say about a military man?
No?
Never mind. Tell me, I hear you have a damn fine terrace here.
Yes, it's outside.
Best place. Mind if I smoke out there later?
Oh, burst into flames, if you like. Another drink?
Not rather. I say, Steinberg, a dashed fine place you've got here. Heard a lot about it. Hello? Who's this on the scene of some movie or other? Only joking, old boy, you look splendid. Those are the days, eh? It is, you know. This is the set of Don't Shoot or I'll Move. My brother Sooty was in that. God rest his soul. Gave his life for some crappy scene that ended up on the cutting room floor. Producer couldn't give a damn. Nasty business. I say, Steinberger, you weren't party to any
But he proud. Unusual name, isn't it? Hardly likely to meet two in a lifetime. Here's your new drink.
Thank you.
Let's talk about something else. Mrs. Travesty. Funny old girl. She's going to keep an eye on things while I'm away, but, well, she's not very bright. Perhaps you could help out?
In what way?
Financially.
My dear fellow, only too happy. You mean you leave me with some money and I pay her gradually? Bit of control, that sort of thing. That's what you mean, isn't it?
No, I mean that you pay her and all the bills out of your own pocket.
Good grief. A strange request for a fellow.
Not really. It depends how much you value the good family name of the Pongo Browns.
I don't follow.
You will. There is no evidence whatsoever of my involvement with your useless brother, apart from the fact that I gave him a small and rather indifferent part in my film. So, well, you can think what you like. In the eyes of the world, I was selflessly presenting art to the masses. And where were you? Swaggering around a film set, pretending to be the famous war hero, when you were nothing more than a craven coward, reading your lines and avoiding the front line. Anyway, don't worry, Major. Your family secrets are safe with me. Providing, of course, you pay the few small debts that may arise while I am away.
I've never heard.
Well, you have now. Say no more. Another guest. Act normally.
You blighter. This is blackmail. The Pongo Browns have never taken dinner with blackmailers. Never. Now I shall take my leave, you scoundrel.
I don't think so. If I'm not very much mistaken, Mrs. Darlene Withers is about to join us, and she can gossip a little. Don't you agree?
I need a drink.
Help yourself.
Mrs. Withers!
Back to it, Travers.
Oh, Bunty, how kind of you to invite me to your dinner Oh, good evening, Major. Having a drink, are we?
Yes, what's it to be? Seems I'm pushing the boat out.
You shouldn't have any problem floating it. Well, Bunty, Mr. Steinberger, what's the occasion?
Oh, just a little soiree to show everyone the location of my new film. A few old chums and a new one.
He's going away.
Going away?
Yes, I'm going away.
Oh.
Yes, I felt I needed change, so I'm...
Going away.
Sorry.
Well, dear lady, are you going to dazzle us with your wit and wisdom tonight by telling us all the Latin names of the houseplants?
I may do. After all, a houseplant can survive and look beautiful just on a little drop of water a day.
What do you mean?
Excellent. A point to Mrs. Withers, eh, Major?
Don't know what she's talking about.
You really, Bunty, Otto, you must take me to the garden before the evening's out to see the progress of the Gloxinia. The last time we were, I've heard from other people that it's a fine specimen, good, strong roots sticking into the old soil. That's what life's all about.
Oh, I agree. Don't you, Major?
It's not so damn pleasant when you're digging in the old soil to make trenches. I remember when I was in Belgium.
Oh, you really should get yourself a greenhouse, Major. A useful hobby will do you good, and it's far cheaper than maintaining the Lord of the Three Feathers.
And a house plant only needs a bamboo cane to support it.
Oh, very good, Bunty. Otto, Mr. Steinberger.
What about you, Steinberger? Do you like houseplants?
Oh, not really. My wife Trixie was the one who kept them alive. Pity they didn't return the compliment.
Do you mean they're dying? I must resuscitate them immediately.
Oh, no, please don't go. I would so miss your company.
You have Major Brown.
Precisely.
Oh, very well. Quite like old times, isn't it?
What do you mean, old times?
I mean, well, nothing really sort of.
What
I
she
mean,
means, my dear Major, is that she used to visit Biggerhampton Manor a great deal when my wife was alive, didn't you?
yes, of course.
Sounded like.
Sounded like she's been here many times before. Well, she has, when Trixie was alive.
Fair enough. Not a military tribunal, you know.
Oh, good. Let's change the subject. Mrs. Withers, I expect you'd like to know who else we are expecting tonight.
Oh, yes, please.
The vicar.
Oh, dear.
Don't worry, we have plenty of food in. Wolfrecht Schreiber, a special effects expert and a sort of colleague of mine.
Sounds a bit of an egghead.
That's what I said.
Congratulations. Please continue.
Seems he's from a foreign land.
Oh, how disgusting.
And a young friend of mine from London.
A young man? Here? That will make a pleasant change.
A young girl, actually. A bit part actress and occasional dancer at a gentleman's club to which I belong.
Oh, I see.
As you say, Mrs. Withers, good to have some young blood around the place.
Got any brains in her head, has she? Sounds like a scatty, dready little money-grabbing tart to me.
You're jealous.
Rubbish! What does she know about houseplants? She wouldn't know a gloxinia if he jumped up and slapped her silly face.
Now.
Yes, steady on, old girl. Tell me, Steinberger, has she got long hair, lily white skin and shapely pretty legs? Does she laugh like a little tinkling stream?
Not exactly.
Does she like older men?
Oh, shut up, Major. I shall spend the entire evening talking to Wolfred, whatever his name is, about special effects, with particular attention to how they make those people naked in nature films. And as far as I'm concerned, the little slut can rot.
I think you are a bit jealous. Funny that. I mean to say, first you make some reference to this being like old times, and then you get into a fluster about some girlfriend of Steinberg.
Girlfriend? What are you getting at, Major?
Nothing.
Precisely. Ah, this could be a Dora man now. Oh, you'll love her. I'll ask you to be a little gentle with her. She is very young and fragile.
Oh, my God.
Oh, come now. I'm sure you remember how it felt to be young and among strangers, in front of a new audience.
Vulnerable, eh?
Exactly.
Vulnerable? Huh. Sounds like she could keep her end up at Le Folies Bergère.
I'll keep her end up. Oh, that's very good.
That is not what I meant, Major. I suggest you keep off the gin for a while.
Message received and understood. Over and out.
Mr. Steinberger, this person has arrived, a Miss Adora man.
Oh, show her in, show her in.
Well, I don't know, with decent folks hereabouts.
Thank you, Mrs. Travesty.
Heaven knows what will happen when she tries to sit down.
Thank you, Mrs. Travesty.
Indecent, I call it.
Mrs. Travesty, something will be boiling over.
Oh, you're right there, Steinberger. Sorry, out of order.
Ah, come in, my dear. Mrs. Withers, a very old friend of mine.
Enchanted.
Enchanted too.
And Major Pongo Brown, local chap.
A pleasure, I'm sure.
The pleasure's all mine.
Now, let me show you to your room. Presumably you've left your cases in the car. Not that you'll need much.
Oh, no, I'm not intending to stay.
Rubbish!
Oh,
Come this way.
oh, dear me. I don't know. I think actually
I really think you should.
No, I can't. It's totally out the question.
Enough. You will be staying. The photographs are excellent. They show every little detail.
Oh, no, please. My career.
Ah, damn conspiratorial, all that whispering. Walls have ears, Mrs. W. Walls have ears. What? What?
Only 3 words? You're not very bright, Major.
Don't understand. Hello. This, I have one identical to this when I was in the trenches. Useful little Johnny, if you know what I mean.
No?
Reminds me of a time during the unpleasantness. This squarehead was charging at me. I raised my revolver, holding it by the barrel like this. Darling old girl, are you listening? Held it like this, brought it down, head not so square after that, eh? What? Ha 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 ha! Hey, what? After that.
For heaven's sake, stop waving it about, Major. Stop showing off.
I was only saying.
Oh, you lunatic! What on earth are you trying to do?
Oh,
Lee, what on earth was that? Sounded like gunfire.
It was.
Oh, that's fine then.
Good Lord, Major, what were you doing?
bastard thing went off in my hand.
They do.
Why is it loaded, man?
Well, I've never seen the point of keeping an empty gun as protection against intruders. Look, kindly put it back where you found it.
Oh, I'm shaking all over.
That could cause even more damage to the structure of the property.
That could have gone through the water tank and caused, what is it that you say in Blighty?
Leakage.
Thank you.
Who are you?
I'm Wolf of Rexschreibank. I'm staying here at the moment, gnädige Frau.
I am not a Frau. Speak properly.
Major Pongo Brown, Darlene Withers, Adora Man, Wolf Rechtschreiben. He's a special effects type, working on a rather important project for my new film. Groundbreaking stuff, eh, Wolf?
Do I get this special effect while I drink Steinberger? I could do with a freshener myself.
Oh, go ahead.
So what's it to be? Gin and tonic that miraculously turns into a whiskey and soda? Something bubbling in a test tube?
No, thank you. A little wine, perhaps, later.
Only joking. Old habit. What devilish wheezes are on the drawing board at the moment, then?
Pardon?
Have you been in this country long? Right, bum, or whatever your name is?
Well, I leave Vienna 6 years ago and go back and leave and go back and leave.
I got the idea. Tell me, what did you think of that Houdini fella? Was that special effects, or did he really get out of those handcuffs? Still got them on, I say. What do you say, Miss Mann?
Thank you for talking to me. And the answer's no.
Eh? Oh, fine. Any idea about special effects to beat the Hun at their own game? You're on our side, presumably.
Since you are here.
Well, I am a man without roots. I'm a man of mystery.
Oh, shut up.
So, is this your country hideaway, Bunty?
Bunty, Mr. Steinberger has lived here a long time. A very long time, haven't you?
Ever since you were a young lady appearing in my films, Darlene. It's crucial that we meet by the well at midnight, Cynthia. Charles deserves to be cast asunder, and we should do it. Only then will we find peace.
Love and love and love. Oh, Roger.
I knew it. A Pongo Brown can always smell something fishy in the air.
I didn't know that fish could fly.
Are you admitting to murder, you naughty people? Is this Charles Chappie at the bottom of the well or what? Bear witness, Miss Mann.
Oh, bear what?
Oh, for God's sake, Otto and I were reenacting a haunting scene from Die Like a Dog. I was the lead.
Ha ha ha! The lead. Very good.
Not what I meant, Major. No more gin for the Major, Otto.
Oh, Adora, what could I get you?
The gin looks nice.
You mustn't always go by looks. But then you don't, do you?
Oh, I don't understand. Listen, I'm sorry I was late. I was driving around the village for hours and my car was getting so hot and I thought I was going to run out of petrol.
You're here now.
Yes, thanks to a very helpful man at the public house.
Oh, which one?
I think it was called the temporary sign.
Eh? Oh, yes.
One gin for a very welcome visitor. Now, I expect you're all wondering why I'm holding this little soiree.
Well, I'm sure I have no idea.
Oh, it's quite simple. You see, I'm going away.
Going away?
Yes, he's going away.
Going away. Well.
He was a bit of a surprise, Steinberger, going away.
Yes, I'm going away. So I thought I would invite some special friends and acquaintances in for dinner.
I had to miss an audition today, but you said I must be here, so I came.
Very wise.
But it could have been my big chance, you know. They wanted a singer. Who can dance?
But you're a dancer who can sing.
Well, yeah, I know, but I thought I would try. And then you ordered me to come here.
Ordered her to come. Strange way of putting it. That sort of thing's all right in the army, but not in Civvy Street.
Shh! Be quiet, Major. Don't you want to hear about Miss, what is it? Man, I should have remembered that. Don't you want to hear all about her career, closed inverted commas?
Steady on, old thing.
I simply told her that it might be able to help her in her career if she helped me in certain ways.
What certain ways?
Adora Man has not exactly arrived as yet when it comes to stardom, and I am attempting to ease her in.
Casting couch, eh? You bounder. You cad. Lucky so-and-so.
I'm sure she will get precisely what she deserves in life.
Oh, why, thank you.
Especially in that dress.
Tell me, dear, is the modern cinema really as wicked as we read in dispatches?
What do you mean, dispatches?
I mean in the newspapers.
Well, say so. Dispatches. Grow up.
Well, life on the silver screen is like a drug. The more you want it, the more you need it.
How do you know?
Well, I was told.
Your chance will come, my dear. Just wait and see. There's always a place in the movies for a girl like you, with a little help from interested parties.
Ooh, I've been to some interesting parties. I say, Mr. Steinberger, this is a great big manor house, a perfect film location featuring a new star. Do you live here all alone?
Ever since Mrs. Steinberger passed on.
Well, I imagine there used to be fine parties here. Men in their dinner jackets, a small orchestra, dancing.
Something like that.
Is there a terrace, fragrant with the perfume of flowers, lovers drifting through the gardens to the strains of the waltz, softly lit by the moon?
Joe Steinberger. She paints a pretty picture. Canny, eh?
Yes, very canny.
Well, I must see it after dinner. I shall explore.
Do that.
May I have another gin, please?
Oh, I'm sorry, I am forgetting myself this evening.
Best thing.
Auto person, before I was not listening to your utterances. Are you going away?
Yes.
Yes, he's
He
going.
is going away.
I see. Excuse me, please. I think I left something outside on the drive.
You know very well you haven't.
Haven't I? Never mind. I will go look anyway.
Funny chaps, foreigners. Sounded like a nice car you arrived in, Miss Mann. What make is it?
It's a sports car.
Oh, ripping fun. On the open road, picnic stowed in the back, travelling rug to keep the knees warm, doing a crisp 40 miles per hour.
Do you recommend a traveling rug for keeping your knees warm, dear?
I don't know what you mean.
Of course you don't. Forget it. When's the cleric arriving, Otto?
Oh, the Vic should be here by now. Perhaps he had to call in at the church.
He's probably been delayed.
Since he's not here yet, I should think you could be right.
Yes, I think so.
Dinner should be on parade soon. Can't wait. Getting a bit peckish.
Thought you said you couldn't eat with, what was it, Major? Began with a B, didn't it?
I can't remember now.
What could you have meant, Major? Couldn't it with B? A bilious attack? A bad egg? Hardly likely. Bunty? Couldn't it with Bunty? Nah, who will have such a stupid name? I give up.
Oh, I wish you would.
Is that a car?
No, Major, that's your ear.
Darlene, that's very witty. I wish I could say things like that. I suppose I'm a bit silly, really.
That is possible.
It is a car.
If I'm not very much mistaken, that should be the late vicar.
As in, he's dead.
Seems the vicar's run over your foreign fellow. You know the one.
Has he got up?
Yes. Brushing himself down. Good job he wasn't British.
What lot you've got here tonight? Someone else from the Haunts of London? Friend of...
Oh, perhaps you should answer it, Mrs. Travesty, and then you'll know.
All this running around for a few shillings.
Thank you, Travers.
It's never like this when Mrs. Steinberg was alive. She was a lady.
Fancy.
Mrs. Travesty, the door.
Don't seem to be endearing yourself to many people tonight, Steinberger.
Quite.
I wonder why you asked us all here at all.
I told you, I'm going away.
The Reverend Duncan!
Pop out and see if my car is all right, would you, Mrs. Travesty?
You are.
A veritable flock. The stalwarts of the parish all under one roof. Oh, and Major Brown too. Sorry if I'm late, but I've been to town, only just returned, and I ran over some stupid lump in the drive. Good evening to you all.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
And a stranger. Oh, well, let me introduce myself.
You must be a vicar.
Correct. A drink, please, Steinberg. I'm a little parched after my journey.
Jerry?
No, a large brandy would suffice.
Your car's all right, Vicar.
And the man he ran over?
Oh, didn't look. I got your favourite for dinner tonight. Vicar plum duff.
Capital. I say, Steinberger, when I came in, I thought I heard you say something about going away. Did you? I would be most interested.
Yes, he's going away.
Oh, tired of it all, are we?
Yes, we are. The lies, the corruption. Here's your vicar.
Steinberger.
I'm tired of all the cover-ups, Vicar. The village society makes me sick.
Oh, come to me, my son, in your hour of need, and I will administer unto you. Come to the faith on Saturday like you did last year when your dear wife, God rest her soul, had just got on to her great reward, and Mrs. Withers here was so kind in comforting you. I was I was deeply touched when I saw you together behind the bric-a-brac stand.
What do you think of my flower display at the church this week, Vicar?
Oh, congratulations. I was about to say, I do hope you didn't think I'd forgotten. In fact, I mentioned it to Major Brown in the post office only this morning.
But I wasn't in
Wonderful, I told him, that the sort of caring attention that exemplifies parish life. If everyone was like you, my dear Mrs. W, our steeple fund would be overflowing with milk and honey now.
Steeple fund?
Yes, the vicar has been collecting for some time, but it moves slowly, doesn't it, Reverend? Almost as if a little is leaking away.
Good heavens, Steinberger. Surely not. What are you suggesting, man? Someone else dipping into the taking collection? Don't be absurd. You're on the parish council. You know the position.
Yes, I think I do. Let's change the subject, shall we? Still eating well, are you? Still managing to support huge amounts of grand food on your small stipend?
Pardon?
His salary. How do you manage it, Vicar?
My dear sir, I hardly think that is any of your business.
No? We'll see.
Damn it, Steinberger, the knives are out tonight. The night of the long lance. What are you implying? I'd stay off that stuff if I were you. Makes you damned aggressive.
Shut up, or I'll give you a good slap.
See what I mean? Anyway, steady on. You're talking to a man that was mentioned in dispatches.
As an idiot.
Bunty, what has got into you? First, you start on the major, which is understandable. Then me. Then the cleric. And I didn't approve of all that whispering you went upstairs with little Miss, what's her name?
Damn conspiratorial, I'd say.
This reminds me of a film.
Reminds me of the trenches.
Sodom and Gomorrah, I'd say.
What about you, Mrs. Withers? Does it remind you of something? A house plant, perhaps?
Don't talk poppycock. Kindly explain yourself before I lose my temper. And you know what happens then.
I should do. It brought the shooting of Die Like a Dog to a standstill for a month.
Tell us, what are we doing here?
Oh, a little patience and all will be revealed.
As the actor said to the bishop. Sorry, Vicar, Miss Mann. Anyone for another drink? Oh.
I have been subjected to the running over. Big ow.
Oh, what on earth is that?
Looks like a dagger.
Why are you carrying a large dagger, right bum?
Dagger?
Dagger, you dropped it on the floor, man.
Oh, this dagger. Oh, it is for the very careless drivers in your country.
The dagger?
When is dinner?
The dagger wolf. What's it for?
Rats. That's it. It's for rats. To keep away the rats.
There aren't any rats in this house.
I know. That's how well it works. You see, I have a phobia about being bitten by diseased rats.
I should think most people have. Now, tell us, Reverend Acorn, what does your parcel contain? We're all aching to find out, aren't we, chaps?
Yes.
This parcel contains a valuable church treasure. It was bent by an over-enthusiastic verger when he was trying to clean out a candle holder, just before he snuffed it.
Poor fella. Was he very old?
I'm sorry. Oh, I see. No, it was the candle he was snuffing out.
It's nothing to do with me.
You haven't told us what it is yet.
No.
Well, tell us then, for God's sake. What's in your parcel?
Oh, that. I brought it in because there are evil people who lurk around vehicles. There was one in the drive.
Oh, quiet, everyone. Open it, Reverend.
Oh, to break through this bondage.
Oh, don't bother. I've lost interest now.
Really, we don't need to see the damn thing.
Open it.
I can't get through this string. A knife, anybody?
Oh, why yes, I have a dagger in my handbag.
Strange.
No, not strange at all. I bought it today on my way to Biggerhampton Manor. The man in the scout shop said it would do me great and then saluted. I don't know why. He was very nice and he showed me his selection of tents and woggles, and he said we could go camping. But I said no, even though he said we'd be prepared. But I suppose all scouts say that.
How interesting. Now, let's cut the string and I will reveal all. Yes.
Oh, heaven forbid.
There. Is it not a thing of beauty?
By Jove, that's mine. No, it's not. Sorry, nothing.
Strange.
Please explain to us why you have a dagger in a parcel. A church artifact? I don't think so.
Not the old sacrificial lamb ploy, I hope.
Funny lot, you vicars. Going to herd it at some member of the congregation who's not attending to your sermon, are you? A choir boy who gets his Benedictus and Benedicat muddled up.
Yeah, if you occasionally took in one of my shows, services, Major, you'd know I don't carry on in such a manner.
He's certainly carrying on in this manner.
Oh, silence. Now, Reverend, reason for waving this instrument of destruction around the place?
It belongs in a sealed case in the chancel for all to see but none to touch. But a verger damaged it, and I have had it repaired, so there's nothing to get suspicious about or to accuse me of murky deeds.
Oh, enough. Onwards. Have you met Wolf Rechtschreibung? Rechtschreibung, this is the vicar.
Pardon?
Reverend Acorn, local vicar.
Please?
No, not the police. Vicar? Never mind. How do you do, Herr Rechtschreibung?
Very well, thank you.
And to what do we owe the honour of your visit?
Oh, yes. What are you doing here?
Using my hospitality enormously. Rechtschreibung is actually the proud possessor of an Oscar, aren't you, Rectors?
Oscar? Great Scott. Could have won one of those myself if my performance had been better.
He won it for a special effect he devised for Die Like a Dog, didn't you?
You are most kind. Would you like to see my big shiny one?
I don't think so.
Oh, but it's truly wonderful. I should know.
How should you know?
I think Rechtschreibung should answer that. Wolf?
I don't understand. What time is dinner?
Yes, indeed. Feeding of the 5,000. When, pray?
Oh, soon enough. That'll not be quite enough for 5,000, Vicar, but Mrs. Travesty knew that you would be here, so it won't be far off.
Oh, that is what I call an icy remark. Bunty, I don't understand why we are all here, but I think I would like to leave. Bad atmospheres scare me.
You will not be going. What would we do for stimulating conversation without you?
I don't know what to say. What shall I say now?
How about goodbye?
Take no notice, my dear. Relax. Worse things happen at sea. Rechtschreibung, tell us more about this Oscar of yours.
Well, it was for an effect I created.
The creation was mine. All mine. You found my sketches on my desk and copied them totally, launched them on the Oscar committee and took all the credit.
Oh, libelous indeed.
Perhaps, but it is true. It was the last time I put him up, or more correctly, put up with him.
Otto, I am a guest in thine house. How could you suggest?
Oh, yes.
What?
Oh, I've got something to say about special effects.
Capital. Things getting a bit strained. Change of subject, ideal.
Oh, what is it, for heaven's sake?
Well, it's true, isn't it, that that man really disappeared in The Invisible Man?
Yes, yes.
Well, the same thing happened to me.
You mean you disappeared like Cloud Rains?
Oh, no. I mean that in the film, I closed my eyes and I couldn't see him. Spooky.
Fascinating. Pity you didn't get that role, Major. You would look good invisible. Probably will have won an Oscar of all of your own.
Don't understand.
Never mind. Now, Mr. Steinberger, time for opening out. What's all this about? You have implicated also this awful little foreign person as well. What's going on? Tell us at once.
Here, which one of you has pinched my dagger?
Charming.
What are you talking about, for heaven's sake?
Our dagger. I use it to rescue the roast potatoes that had fallen back into the oven and got stuck in all the gunk there.
Can't wait for this quizzing.
Oh, thank you, Travers.
I sort of reach in and stab I go. Stab,
This is travesty.
stab I go. Wasn't going to make a long speech about it or anything. Just wanted to know what a woman like me is capable of with a dagger. That's all. Nothing more.
Silence.
Well, where is it then?
Oh, God knows. In the spoon drawer, for all I know.
Oh, you're right. I remember seeing it there. Why didn't you say so before? It would have saved a great deal of my valuable time.
I dread to think what dinner will be like.
Look, excuse me a moment. There's something I have to do upstairs.
He's gone into my room.
I'm surprised it wasn't mine.
Give him time.
Well, here we are.
Quite.
Well.
Well, 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 well.
Well.
Oh, good heavens. Look at that plant. Oh, seems a strange way to train it.
By Jove, what was that?
Oh, the string broke. Don't you just stand there. Help me out with this.
Can I do anything?
Yes, jump in a lake. No, actually, pass my bag. There is a dagger in it.
Strange.
Bought it today. Ideal for shaving my intersections.
Shaving your intersections?
Yeah, shaving my intersections, to encourage growth. Just the job. Pass it over immediately and don't try to steal it.
Oh, who'd bother?
You, perhaps. It would be ideal for sharpening whips.
Don't know what you mean.
Neither do I. Now, come on, Major. Grab this string. Rect thingy. You can grab this other. And Reverend Acorn. Okay, everyone in place. Now, please pull. Everyone, pull. Oh.
Everything all right?
Fine.
Oh, what was that, Mrs. Travers? 10 minutes?
In 10 minutes.
Oh, good.
Such a style.
Mrs. Travesty, I think it might be a good idea if you stay here for a while. What I have to say concerns you too, and I would like to get it off my chest before it is burdened with your cooking.
Well, I must say,
Sit over there, please.
I haven't got time to be hanging around talking to the likes of
To do it, Travers. There's an ugly mood prevailing tonight.
I've got my pride, Major.
Now, I've asked you all here tonight, Not as each one of you conceitedly thought, to show you the location for the film you were certain to star in. No, each one of you has a little secret, something that you would prefer to keep within these 4 walls. 3 walls or whatever, except Mrs. Travesty, whose only need is a few walls.
Blackmail. Told you, you bounder.
Is that what the B stood for? Bounty? I'm disgusted.
In my country, B stands for pardon.
Pardon?
Pardon. Pardon, pardon.
Pardon, pardon.
Oh, shut up.
Oh, please, look, let me continue. Major Pongo Brown, since you've so rudely interrupted, I will start with you. The Major has been extremely kind and has volunteered to supply the necessary finances to run Biggerhampton Manor in my absence. Very generous. And all because I cast his brother in one of my movies. And know rather a lot about the stiff upper lip of the Pongo Browns. Shall I go on?
Leave it there, Steinberger.
Oh, no, carry on.
It's going to be your turn soon. Then you won't be so keen on all the gory details.
I have nothing to hide.
We'll see. So, there we are. A little secret about the Major. Mrs. Travesty, you will look after the place while I am away. For this, I will make sure the Major pays you 5 shillings a week. Unless, of course, he finds anything out of order. Any sign of neglect, any lack of attention whatsoever. Then, I'm afraid, you will lose a week's money. I think he will play the game, like the consummate actor he is, because, after all, it is his money. If everything is correct on my return, then I will consider your position and financial status. I really think that's extremely fair, don't you agree? Of course you do. You have no choice.
Don't I? We'll see about that. I'll get another position, then you'll be in the soup.
Or in hot water. With your soup, it would be hard to tell the difference. Oh, sleep on it, Travers, old thing. You'll see the sense. Now, our dear vicar, the complete man of the church, involved in every aspect, including, of course, the tortoise-like steeple fund.
And there's no proof.
No, I have proof, believe me. Your role in my immediate future is a simple one. All you have to do is continue with your fundraising, but you take a little more for me. Upon my return, you will hand it over, as I am bound to have used up all my dear wife's money by then on shameful living and unworthy pursuits. Well, make sure there's enough for Mrs. Travesty too. She may need a little rest, and I would not let her down. And the Major would probably have used up all his money by then. After all, I am an honourable man.
I shall pray for you. Something along the lines of, forgive him, for he knows not what...
Save it for grace. Now, all clear so far? That, the remaining 3 will be delighted to hear, is the end of the financial dealings. My home will be well run in my absence, and I will have funds on my return. Capital. Yes, very apt. Capital.
When I leave here, I'm going straight to the police. You're a scoundrel, man, a rotter and a cad. I have nothing to hide. So I'm the only one in a position to act. Mark my words, Steinberger. Your louche casting couch behavior days are over. They're not going to do you much good in prison unless you want to get it on with Knuckles in cell 23. You are heading for the dock, my man.
The only dock I'm heading for is located at Southampton. Now, be quiet for once and listen. The only reason you are here is because of our mutual past. It was a well-kept secret, wasn't it, our affair? I only did it for the money, of course. My dear wife, flat out on her bed, smelt a rat. Oh, pity you weren't there with your dagger, Rex Schreiber? Cut off my allowance.
Pity she didn't cut off.
Shut up! Silence! I need money for a few of life's necessities. A car, my bookmaker's bill, the odd night at the Ritz.
I once had an odd night at the Ritz.
And dear Darlene Withers was only too happy to oblige. A kiss or two, a few pounds, a loving hug, a new suit, a crazed embrace. Well, that could earn enough for a weekend in Paris.
What did you have to do to get the car?
Oh, a whole army of extras helped me there.
By Jove.
How low can you go?
I think that's what you said at the time. However, I tired of you, didn't I? The old boiler had to give way to a spring chicken, who is, a little unwilling at the moment, but that will be amended shortly. I asked you here because I thought you'd like to meet your successor, but you took it in such bad spirit. I detected a little jealousy about my spring chicken, a fresh, plump little addition to my nest.
Does she lay yet?
Our relationship was good enough. After all, here was I, tied to a bedridden but demanding dragon of a wife, unable to move undetected. An affair brought a little fun into my life, but as I believe fox hunters say, the chase was more exciting than the kill.
What's he talking about? Did the fat fox catch the chickens or what? What's it all about, pray?
Precisely, prey. And when I got my prey, I very quickly tired of it. Well, luckily, my wife died suddenly, so I used some of her money to acquire a super house in London.
A bigger chicken run.
Precisely. So, Mrs. Darlene Withers, aged actress, horticultural genius, and much respected local figure, does have a past. And it will all come out if a word of tonight's meeting gets any further.
I could kill you, Bunty. You invited me here to make me jealous?
That's right.
Thank you.
Oh, it was nothing.
You're right.
You say you invite this good lady to show off a younger woman? To make her realize she's, how you say?
Over the hill.
Past it.
Entered late middle age.
Oh, that will do.
Quite. My motives are not your concern. Herr Wolfrecht Schreiber, how did it feel when you saw the incredible illusion of the cowboy turning into a rabbit right there on the screen? When that piece of wizardry was recognized as a piece of genius by the Oscar committee? Did you feel proud? Were you the toast of Vienna?
Of course. As they say in old Vienna, happiness is a warm plate of schnitzel indeed.
Really? How fascinating.
We make a joke in old Wien. Awarding is rewarding. Get it? As you Leipziger say?
Not really. However...
Happiness is a living Habsburg.
Enough! So you were proud of your achievement? An achievement that you plagiarized completely from me?
Well, I added some of my own.
All you added was your name at the end of the proposal. A lesser man than I would have taken action immediately. But after a great deal of consideration, I decided not to expose you.
What does that mean?
My dear child, do you really not know the meaning of expose?
You amaze me.
No, I know what exposed means, duh. I mean, played your eyes.
Page your eyes. Oh, plagiarize. That means copy. He copied my work.
Oh.
Back to business. As I said, Recht Schreiber, I decided not to expose you for the plagiarist you are. I decided to invite you to Biggerhampton Manor instead.
Damn strange behaviour.
He does things like that.
And while you were down here with the others, I took the liberty of searching your room. Most interesting. You seem to have got a long way with Project X.
Not Project
Project
X.
X.
You search my room? Find my secret papers? I could kill you, Steinberger. Fancy looking through someone else's things.
And finding Project X.
Hardly the behaviour of a gentleman.
I didn't feel at all guilty in the circumstances. As a matter of fact, elation was more the emotion that struck me. It is your turn now, Wolfie baby. Your turn to do the donkey work. Mine to take the glory.
What?
While I am away on my travels, you will stay here as my guest and finish your research. Upon my return, you will hand me Project X in a plain brown envelope, ready for me to build into my exciting new movie cut. With the simple legend inscribed upon it, Project X, the ultimate special effect illusion. Copyright Otto Steinberger.
Never! Never, never!
I think you will, or the world will be left with no illusion about your first illusion, that it wasn't yours at all.
But Project X is my
Life's work?
life's work. It is far greater than any of your schoolboy illusions.
That you felt deserved an Oscar.
You'll never get away with this. Please, gnädige Frau, I appeal to you.
I am not a Frau. Stop being so disgustingly foreign, and you do not appeal to me at all.
Steinberger, you'll never get away with this.
Wait and see. Some mysterious letters have been written that you mustn't know about. Date-stamped evidence will be lodged with my bank with instructions to release everything on demand. So I should get to work, Wolfie baby. I want fame and fortune when I return from going away.
Bunty, I could kill you. You're a meanie, a cruel and a naughty man. I'm right, aren't I, Darlene?
Mrs. Withers to you. But yes, probably for the first time in your life, you are right. Tell us, you pig, what have you got planned for your simpering little tart of a girlfriend?
Ah, how could you? We should all be in this together against him. He's a cad and a rogue. That's what he is.
My plans for the delectable and fascinating Adora Man are rather more short-term. She has to agree to accept and enjoy my every whim, or certain photographs will reach the wrong hands. Photographs like this. Major.
I say, good Lord. Oh boy, by Jove. Oh, wait a minute. I see. Where did, who was, should I say?
Major?
Yes, good one of you, Miss Man. Who's the lucky chap?
Baron Ogle.
Barrel organ.
Baron Ogle. Feel privileged, Major. You are the only person to have seen these photographs so far. They will be destroyed tomorrow morning if everything goes according to plan. Otherwise, now where does the Baron's devoted wife live?
Oh no, anything but that.
Anything?
My line, I think.
You cruel.
Heartless.
Conniving.
Underhand.
Disgusting.
Schweinhund.
Yes, I'm rather, aren't I? So Miss Mann will look after my immediate needs. Dear old Travers and Major Pongo will provide the elbow grease and wherewithal to run Biggerhampton Manor in my absence. The vicar and our special effects genius between them will provide my pocket money and pension upon my return. And Darlene Withers, dear Darlene, has supplied an amusing diversion.
You'll never get away with it.
Now, Mrs. Travesty, I think we are ready to eat. Travers has been slaving away in the kitchen all day. We mustn't disappoint her. Reverend Acorn, won't you lead the way? the needs of the inner man, etc., etc.
Get thee behind me, Satan.
Plum duff answers.
Oh, very well.
Splendid. What about you, Wolf?
Fine owned.
Bless you. Major, why don't you escort the fabulous Darlene Withers into dinner? You'd make a splendid couple. Oh dear, Mrs. Withers seems to have other ideas. Never mind, better luck next time.
You are a bounder, sir, and a cad.
Oh, that's what I like about you, Major. You understand me. Now, come along, my little one.
I know I just won't be able to eat a thing. I can feel it in my stomach.
Oh, later. It's amazing what one can force oneself to do when one has to. Dinner, dinner, dinner.
Ah, good spread, Steinberger. Capital.
The pheasant was well hung.
Begging your pardon, Reverend. It wasn't pheasant, I was chicken au vin.
Indeed. In that case, it was extremely well hung.
Oh, I didn't try that bit.
Not the only thing round here that needs to be hung.
Yeah.
The expression is here, here, and it's for the exclusive use of the British.
I think we should all charge our glasses and just drink a toast to me. You too, Mrs. Travesty.
I don't drink with the likes of you.
Bravely spoken, Travers.
Or you.
Oh,
If you'll excuse me, I think I'll just nip to the back to the dining room. A little unfinished business with a Stilton I'd like to attend to it.
Are you leaving as well, Wolf?
Please, I have most important things to do.
Of course. Project X, my great invention.
You push me too far, old matey boy, fella, lad, what? I take off now.
That is a real idiot. Another glass of port, anyone? No? Well, I'd better, dear, rescue the decanter before our dear vicar finishes that as well.
Mrs. Travesty, Major, Miss Thing. Now, what are we going to do? Comply?
Well, for the sake of my career, I'll have to do what he says. But I won't comply.
Give me patience. Major?
well, lock the bounder in the cellar, I say, and throw away the key.
Yeah, but how will he get out? Oh, I see what you mean.
I had my way. He'd never get out. He needs one of my sticking up his...
Miss Travesty, surely you don't
I
mean...
think she does, by Jove. Explain yourself, Travers, old thing.
Well, it's up to one of us to get rid of... Shh!
And where do you think you're off to in such a hurry, Darlene?
To the garden. I need a change of air. Must have been the Stilton. Coming, Major?
What? Oh, yes. I could do with a smoke.
And you better come too, Miss...
Why should she?
She wants to see the orangery. Yeah, don't you?
Oh.
Pardon? Oh, I quite agree, Mrs. Travesty. We must indeed confer. Where are the others, for God's sake? Oh, sorry. Boffin chappie. Just the man we need in our hour of tribulation.
Please?
What do you think we should do about it?
What?
About what? Your life's work is threatened. You are on the verge of ruin and public humiliation, and you say about what?
Oh, that. Otto Steinberger. As I see it, there's only one solution to the problem. He must die.
Well, steady on, Rick Strybung.
Die, die, die.
Yes.
Die? Die? Die!
Die,
Die, diddly, die, dining room, urgent business in there. I'll see you later. Yes.
Where's my dagger?
Oh, found the rat, Wolfie?
Rat? Shawl!
What are they up to, Mrs. Travesty? What have they been saying?
Nothing much. I must get on with the clearing up.
Mrs. Travesty. Travers, perhaps I have been too forceful. As an ancient retainer with a mindless trust in your employer and a basic, if, well, dumb respect for these grand surroundings and the mortals that have lived here and breathed in these portals, would you side with me against our guests tonight?
You what?
Are you on my side?
Things have gone too far.
Exchange? Yes, give me the police and hurry. Is the inspector there? Inspector, this is Otto Steinberger at Biggerhampton Manor. What? No, I haven't found you a part in my film, not yet. Yes, I'm sure you'll be walking on the red carpet before too long. Look, Inspector, you must listen. I'm in great... No, you don't necessarily have to become a drug addict to be act. Inspector, please listen. My life is in danger. What? No, she's dead. I said my life is in danger. Well, don't apologize. No, it really doesn't matter. No, it won't affect your chances. Oh, God, listen, Inspector. I'm in fear of my life, damn it. Well, there's a plot afoot to kill me. Get over here. Well, can't you miss bandwagon for once? Oh, look, I have some people round here, and I think they're after my blood. I've left some black envelopes for... What? Who do I suspect? Oh, it could be any one of them. Well, but in my opinion...
Inspector! Oh, damn, he's hung up. Oh, blasted fuses.
What the devil's going on? Steinberger, where the hell are you, man?
Where is good old Travers? Jolly old thing, what?
Who's that? Oh, it's you. What happened?
Oh dear, things always happen to me in the dark. Oh!
If this is someone's idea of a joke, I don't find it remotely funny.
Mrs. Travesty, where have you secreted yourself? Ah!
It's not the gas, it's the electric. I'm giving him my notice.
Oh, well done, Mrs. Travesty, you good and faithful servant.
Does this sort of thing always happen in country houses?
Oh, do be quiet, you stupid little tart.
Where are the fuses, Mrs. Travesty?
Through there, Major.
Got any matches? Matches. Leave it to the military, the light brigade. No charge. I'll fix the fuses in a jiffy.
There is Steinberger.
Well, he said he was going away.
Strange.
Blimey, what a to-do. I'm sure you're all gripped by where we go next on this one, but it's time for the interval. There'll be some instructions on the screen soon about how you need to vote to determine who is guilty. So collect your drinks, collect your food, and be back in about 20 minutes time. Thank you very much. Well, welcome back, everyone. I trust that your glass is recharged and that pile of Quality Street on your lap has been restocked. It's now time for part 2. I hope you've all placed your votes. They've been counted. And we'll return now to see what happens in Big Manor Hampton, the Bigger Hampton Manor, and part 2 of Cut.
So, go and get that housekeeping woman, cook or whatever she is.
Travesty? What do you want her for?
Remember your place, Sergeant. Do as you're bid.
Okay. Mrs. Travesty! Yes, sir. Your Majesty, how can I serve you? Cup of tea, spotted dick, big dog and custard.
Oh, be quiet and listen, woman. Mrs. Travesty, did any of the guests here tonight own a dagger?
We all did. Oops, I shouldn't have said that.
Better you do, young lady.
USA!
Or you'll be banged up for withholding information.
Oh, no, sir. Please, sir, not me, sir. Oh, please, sir, I beg you from the bottom of my heart.
Well, if you want to stay out of trouble, go to the kitchen, get yourself a tray and gather all the daggers. Every one, mind, by fair means or foul.
Yes, sir. Right away, sir.
That's the way to treat him, Sergeant. The truth will be mine before you can say Jack
Robinson, sir.
Correct. Now, where are they all?
Major Pongo Brown.
The military man.
Yes, sir.
Thought as much.
He's on the terrace, smoking. I don't mean he's on fire. On fire.
Sergeant.
Sorry, sir. The foreign chappie, he's in the study. Or is it a viewing theatre?
Oh, I don't know. Go on.
And that famous actress that made my dad all hot under the collar in Who Puts the Broad in Broadway, Darlene Withers, hair of the come and get me big boy eyes. She's back in the silent movie era. Here are the...
Oh, get on with it, Sergeant. We haven't got all night.
Haven't we? Mm-hmm. Anyway, she's in the garden giving the floribunda a good seeing to.
Ah, tweaking out the intersections.
So I'm led to believe, sir. Miss Adora Man?
Ah, yo ho ho.
That's the one, sir.
She's in the orangery, dancing with an invisible partner to a rhythm created by her own feet on the deserted dance floor.
Cool. And Reverend Acorn?
Finishing supper.
Finishing supper at a time like this? Callous peasant.
No, cock of answer. Oh, and Mrs. Travesty is out finding all the daggers.
Well, I know that. Why don't they ever learn?
Beg your pardon, sir?
Now, why don't they ever learn? That's what we say about murderers on the force. Sort of tradition, really. Have you searched the grounds?
I don't think anyone had coffee at dinner, sir.
Please take this case seriously, Sergeant. This is a murder case. The facts are these. A telephone call from Biggerhampton Manor. Otto Steinberger, clearly distressed, believes he is to be murdered. We arrive, see the body, survey the scene of the crime. Everyone's got daggers, for God's sake. Strange.
And we established the fact that the cupboard from which the unfortunate Otto Steinberger fell,
Yes.
maybe breathing his last,
Yes, yes.
gulping for a few extra seconds on this mortal coil,
Sergeant.
on this woeful sea of troubles.
What?
Sorry, sir, the cupboard has 2 doors.
I can see that.
Well, that's all right then.
Quite. Intrigue interlaced with intrigue. Mystery adhered to mystery. Woe upon woe. Should we call in the yard?
I don't see the point, sir. No one will hear us. Sorry, sir.
Right. Bring in the 6 suspects. Clever interrogation will soon strip away the mask and reveal the guilty party.
Why don't they ever learn?
Quite. Send them in, Sergeant. Jump to it, man. Hurry.
Right. I'll be back directly.
Fine.
Right.
Right. Good man. Oh, yuck. Ooh, oh.
This way, you lot. The inspector wants to see you.
Come in, Mr. Ratchen Schreibung. Bung. Ratbung. Recribe.
Rex Reibung.
May I call you Wolf? Wolfie? Sit there, please. Mrs. Withers, that's right. Leaning by the desk with your hand on your hip, looking bored. Reverend Acorn, sit with your knees together. Miss Adora Mann leans seductively on the sofa. Major Pongo, over here. Legs crossed. No, a little more arrogant. That's better. Now, is everybody comfortable? This could take some time. It is my sad duty to inform you that Otto Steinberger is dead.
Said he was going away. Damn sudden. Funny cove.
Who'd have thought it?
I think it's extremely rude. Shows lack of breeding.
I suffer from lack of breeding.
Not for long by the sound of it.
Steinberger dead? How strange.
Yes, quite so. Shortly after 9:30 this evening, I had an emergency call from the deceased informing me that he had reason to believe his life was in danger.
His wife was in danger. She died ages ago.
That's precisely what I said to him. No, sorry. He believed his life was in danger.
No.
Oh.
No.
Does that give you a clue as to why I'm holding you all here?
No.
No.
Oh,
Otto Steinberger has been brutally murdered and you are all suspects.
Murdered?
Ridiculous.
Why suspect us?
The pillars of the community.
Because you 6 were the last 6 to see the famous film producer Otto Steinberger alive.
So what? Are you trying to say, you silly little man, that we are all accused of murdering the bloody man? Don't be absurd. I wish to leave. Major?
What? Yes, certainly. Damn cheek. Evidence. That's what's needed.
Here we are, Inspector. All 6 daggers.
Thank you. Excellent.
All neat and clean.
Clean?
Yes, I washed them up. They're all mucky. One of them looked like something had been kind of pork chop up with it. I couldn't let you have them like that. I live in a respectable house. Don't I, Major?
I shouldn't think so.
You mean you cleaned them up, washed off all the evidence? You stupid, half-baked, crazy woman!
Oh, I knew you'd be pleased. Now have I missed anything?
Only the inspector is accusing us all of murder.
Oh, fine.
Mrs. Travesty, complete this tableau of criminal masterminds. Sit on the edge of the sofa, looking at the file.
Enough of this rubbish. Shall I see you home, Mrs. Withers?
Not so fast, sir.
Ring me in the morning if anything shows up.
Nobody is leaving this room until I have satisfied myself.
Oh, please.
That the person is innocent. Please be seated. And you, madam.
Madam, well, I never did.
Nor did I. I'm a busy man, Inspector. Please, I'll hurry off to my room. I know nothing. My ignorance speaks for all.
Oh, do be quiet.
Right.
Now, I understand you were all present when the body was discovered.
Yes, of course. Who told you?
Did anybody examine it?
Where was it? Oh, yes.
Well, we were too scared.
I had my eyes shut in prayer.
How could we? The lights were out.
Yes, very good.
I could not find my spectacles.
Where was it?
What happened exactly, Major?
Well, I was on the terrace, smoking the old pipe. A bit of shag after dinner is just the thing. I had a lot of voices and made my way into this room.
Us too.
It's the fuses, sir. It's always happening at Biggerhampton Manor. It's the antique wiring, you see.
Who discovered the body?
Well, you did.
Of course I didn't. You were all in here when I arrived.
I went to mend the fuse, and as I opened the cupboard door, Steinberger's body just fell out onto the floor.
And you presumed he was dead?
No need to presume, Inspector. He was a goner if ever I saw one. And I've seen some dead bodies in my time. Just look at that lot in Ben-Hur.
You were in that? Never mind. And so you phoned the police?
I know my duty, Inspector. But I didn't because you arrived. Very fast. I commend you and will recommend you for a more elevated position.
How kind. Did anybody touch the body before I arrived?
No.
Oh, someone must have touched it.
Ah, who?
The murderer.
May one inquire how our dear departed brother met his fate?
He was stabbed.
No.
But I will save you all the gory details now until I've questioned you all separately and together.
Oh, goodness, how terribly dull.
I'm inclined to agree, madam. Now, the sergeant and I have carried out a brief survey of the premises, and we have reason to believe that the crime took place elsewhere and the body was dragged into that cupboard by some person or persons unknown.
Oh, but surely no one would be brave enough to drag a body.
You did it, so tell us.
I didn't do it. I really didn't. You have my word for it. I know you all suspect me. I just know it.
No one is guilty, miss, until they've been proven innocent. I mean, no one is innocent until, that is, everyone is. Sergeant!
Sir?
Perhaps you can guide us through this array of weapons that Mrs. Travesty has so kindly cleaned up the evidence thereupon.
Oh, I am daft, aren't I?
Yes.
This dagger.
That belongs to the dreaded Rex Strybung.
Thank you.
Yours, sir? Any particular reason why such an object should be in your possession at a country house in which you are being entertained as a guest?
What next, Sergeant?
The dagger, Mr. Reckschreibung.
To whittle away at wooden props for the special effects making of. Ask Mrs. Travesty. She gave it to me as a birthday present.
What do you mean? I've never seen the bloody thing before.
We have.
Shh.
He keeps it with him all the time.
Says he's scared of dirty rats.
He says it keeps them away.
All foreigners are mad, aren't they?
That is true.
Next, Sergeant.
This belongs to the Reverend. I know because I searched his car.
Not the glove compartment.
No, sir.
So how do you know it's the vicar's?
Because he didn't have a dagger in his car?
Good detection, Sergeant. Next.
Thank you, sir. This belongs to Mrs. Travesty. In spite of her washing up, there's still caked on food on the handle.
Ah, astute fellow.
Well, that's put me in the clear, all right.
No, it doesn't. She's your murderer, Inspector.
Oh, I never did.
Carry on, Sergeant.
Well, while I was searching the premises, sir, I observed a fur coat hanging in the vestibule.
Oh, that's mine. I hope you haven't touched it or I'll sue. It took 70 needless hands and some barbaric killing of foxes to get the fur for that. So it's obviously very dear to me.
One of the pockets had many holes in the bottom, signifying that the owner had carried a dagger in it on many occasions.
So what? You never know when you have to slash back a bit of Virginia creeper. Mind your own business.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Withers, but this is my business. That dagger is a potential murder weapon.
Murder weapon? Don't jump the gun.
Gun?
This is highly amusing. Carry on, Sergeant.
Next clue is something beginning with D.
D?
Oh, I love games like this. Give us a clue, Sergeant.
Another dagger.
Begins with D, all right.
In Austria, we have many princes and princesses stabbed by the dagger. Elizabeth, by way of exampling, was attacked by an ass in
What?
He's trying to say assassin. Anyway, who cares? Onwards, Inspector.
A very likely murder weapon. Mr. Steinberger could have been stabbed.
Well, you would know that. He could have been shot for all we know.
Shot?
That particular dagger was in a man's bag. Proof, if it was needed, that she did it.
I knew everyone suspected me just because I happened to have a dagger in my handbag. You're all meanies, the lot of you.
Miss Mann, perhaps you could calm down and answer a simple question. Why were you carrying a dagger in your handbag?
Well, I always have one. It makes me feel safe when I'm walking the streets of London at night.
Ha!
Going home from audition, I mean. People lurk in the doorways. People you wouldn't want to meet on a dark night. And a girl has got to protect herself. You're a long time dead if you don't, Inspector. Unless, of course, you're Otto Steinberger.
What do you mean?
Well, he's not a long time dead, is he?
Oh, very profound. Arrest her at once, Sergeant. She's obviously guilty to the core.
Be still, my children. There's no proof that this young person has erred.
Erred what?
Oh, she's obviously not responsible for her words of actions. She's a silly little half-bake who will do nothing to cunningly devise a plot to obtain money through menaces.
Surely a half-bake wouldn't be able to be as cunning as you suggest. Take the Huns. They were cunning. I remember an incident during the last...
Enough! Silence. Shall we proceed?
Another dagger. Must belong to the Major.
Ooh, is that the great thing you were groping for, Major?
Yours, Major. I know it.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. I feel it. Call it divine intuition.
Why?
Why not?
Ah, clarity itself. The Major has done the murdering of.
Ridiculous. Respected chappie in the community. Right, Mrs. W?
I haven't the faintest idea. I wouldn't have thought so.
Some bounder gets his head blown off and everybody...
Blown off, Major?
Figure of speech. Probably stabbed by that silly cow for all I know.
Silly cow? I hope that you are talking about the real silly cow in this room. If it hadn't been for her, none of this would have happened.
You can't blame me just because I'm young and pretty.
Anyway, Major, why are you getting so upset? You did it, didn't you? I knew it all along. Jean Sutton killer. That's Major Pongo Brown. Always said it. Haven't we, Vicar?
Only occasionally. Let us give him the benefit of the doubt. Is that fair, Major? You vicious swine.
Steady on, old vicar, crappy person. I think the Major should have a chance to explain his premeditated and violent behavior.
I can't believe this. The Major hasn't even been given a chance to speak.
Thank you, miss.
Murderers should always be given the chance to speak.
He's your man, Inspector. Arrest him, then we can all go home.
Shall I handcuff him roughly and march him away?
Certainly not. He's clearly innocent, aren't you, Major?
Yeah, of course.
There, I told you. Right. Now, why did you start a volley of gunfire in this room?
Yeah, it's quite simple.
Lies.
I just
Rubbish!
wanted to,
Major, how could you?
talk about it.
Lord, forgive him.
I wanted to talk about it with Steinberger. He liked firearms. Ever since that war movie he made, Bang Bang You're Dead, I think it was called, we had long evenings talking about the old...
Oh, don't be so ridiculous. When did you ever come here?
the Fox and Duck.
Otto always went to the Pig and Whistle.
Yes, and when he wasn't, he was in his London haunts.
You be quiet. Well, Major?
I heard once that he was interested. Anyway, that's why I picked up the damn thing.
I'll ask you to control your language in my presence. Save it for the public bar.
So, to sum up, a dagger owned by Wolf Reckschreiber.
Strange.
Another, allegedly an artifact owned by the Church of Reverend Acorn.
Strange.
A dagger used as a cooking implement by Mrs. Travesty.
Strange.
A gardener's lethal dagger in Mrs. Withers' handbag.
Strange.
Another dagger, this time from the very pocket of Major Pongo Brown.
Strange.
And a dagger used for a bit of overnight protection by Miss Adora Mann.
Strange.
Right. Everyone leave the room, please. Wait in the study until I send for you. You may smoke and pace up and down in a concerned manner. You may mumble, I could do with a drink, and give each other worried looks. But you may not leave this house. Miss Mann, you stay here. I need you to answer a few questions.
Me? I know I shall cry.
Why not? It's your fault.
That's not true. And to think I was going to ask you if I could stay the night at your house.
Tonight? Of course. Breakfast will be served at 8:30.
Oh, why, thank you so much.
And after you've brought my tray, then you can clean out the fires and make the beds.
Oh.
Right. Sit down, miss. Tell me, did you find Mr. Steinberger difficult?
Virtually impossible.
Did he have a strange and mysterious hold over you?
No.
Okay. Come with me, if you will. Oh, no.
Oh, silly me.
Come with me in your mind. When dinner was over, did everyone stay on, drinking, laughing, swapping anecdotes about poor people who have to work for a living while the rich bask in their self-praise, conceit and arrogance?
No. We came in here for a little while, and then everyone else went off to different places. I went to the orangery, alone of course, but of course none less romantic for that. And I dreamt I was dancing with a handsome man. I hummed music and whirled around, and I suppose if you compare my life to a brick wall, then every other brick would have maybe or could have been written on it.
Quite. So why should anyone want to kill Otto Steinberger?
Well, I really don't know. Being innocent, how could I?
If there was someone here tonight who did have a motive for the murder, who do you think it would be?
Oh, I think I know that. Definitely.
Who?
Otto Steinberger.
But he's the one that was murdered.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that's what you asked.
So, who would have wanted to kill him, Miss Mann? Who had reason to do so, in your opinion?
Major Pongo Brown. Without a doubt, he had the motive and the reason.
And what was that?
He said that Mr. Steinberger was something beginning with B.
B?
Yes, and I can't remember what it was. It wasn't Bunty, although that does begin with a B.
Miss Mann, it's important. You must think.
No, I give up.
What do you mean you give up?
Well, I can't think of anything beginning with B. Can I go now, back to the study, and look all upset and shaken?
If you insist. Before you go, did Mr. Steinberger mention anything odd to you? Something not quite right about any of the other guests?
I don't think so. Did he say anything to you when you arrived?
Of course not. He was dead.
Oh yes, silly me.
Quite. Okay, you may go. And send in the Reverend Acorn, will you?
Oh, of course. And I hope I've been helpful.
Just one thing puzzles me. You explained why you carry a dagger in London, but why were you carrying one tonight?
Just in case.
I see.
Ah!
Oh, for heaven's sake, could you all wait outside, please? Reverend, stay here. Sit down.
The jelly baby.
Have they been christened? Sorry, I've had a long day, Reverend. A nasty business this morning. A man was walking past the flower shop when a golf ball hit him on the head.
Really?
Yes, he staggered into a large display of chrysanthemums, slipped on a flower pot, fell into the road and was run over by a steamroller.
How sad, but it was doubtless the way he would have wanted to go. Why are you telling me this, my son?
To prove that death must not be taken lightly, Father. There's been something in the air here tonight. I can smell it.
Oh, I'm sorry, that could have been the plum duff. However, I do agree with your noble sentiments, said, if I may say so, by a man from a noble profession.
Thank you. Now, how long had you known Otto Steinberger?
Oh, I welcomed him to the flock about a year ago.
Oh, surely he's been in the village longer than that.
Oh, yes, he'd been here several years before I got around to welcoming him. But why do you ask? You know him as well as I.
Ah, routine. Did you like him?
Like him? Like him? Well, I don't think anyone could have liked Otto Steinberger. He was a selfish, mean, conniving, wretched excuse for a man. The sort of person you detested on sight.
Just answer yes or no, please, sir.
Well, I could never really make up my mind. His wife had all the money, you know.
Had. Alcohol, drugs, women. There cannot be much left if your article in this month's parish magazine is true.
Ah, don't believe everything you read, Inspector.
I hope you don't mind my asking you this, Reverend, but is your name really Acorn? Or is it A. Corn? You know, an initial, like Albert Corn or something like that.
No. My name is Acorn, but as it happens, my Christian name is Albert, and a fine Christian name it is. There were many Alberts in the Bible. One was a lesser-known disciple.
Oh, how fascinating. Now, Reverend Acorn, put yourself in my position. Oh, no. In my position, who would you accuse of this murder?
Is it my duty as a man of the church to sit in judgment upon others? Would it be right for a man of the cloth to accuse his fellow man? When I stand in front of that great judge in the sky, do you...
The murderer, Reverend.
Oh, that dreadful little foreign fellow, obviously. You can tell just by looking at him. Mean little piggy eyes, stingingly ambitious, not British. Vile little special effects person.
So that's your theory?
Purely a guess.
Thank you. Most constructive. Now, why did you have a dagger with you tonight?
It had been repaired.
Where?
Barnes Jewellers.
When?
Today.
How?
3 and 6pence.
Can you?
Receipt right here.
Did?
Yes.
And where were you just before the murder, if I may be so bold?
In the dining room, of course. Well, where else would I be?
Ask a silly question. Very well, you may go. But don't leave the house. I expect to be charging someone before the evening's out.
Well, don't leave it too long. I have early service in the morning, and I don't want to be yawning through it. Mind you, the congregation usually does.
Send in Darlene Withers.
What do you say?
Please. Mrs. Withers, will you come in, please? Didn't the vicar tell you I wanted to see you?
Of course he did. Have you got no manners, Inspector? If you need me, you will request my presence yourself. Don't send some messenger.
The vicar is hardly a messenger, Mrs. Withers.
Ridiculous. His kind are all messengers.
Oh, I see. Very good. Shall we proceed?
As long as you don't start accusing me or talking about my dagger or asking about my carnal relationship with Mr. Steinberger.
Really? I mean, did you like Otto Steinberger?
Film producers are like doctors. You go to them with your problems. They are always useful to have around. I used to call him when I took to my bed. He will come round and administer unto me. Just like a doctor, sometimes I couldn't keep him away.
Did you try apples? Anyway, one cannot ignore local gossip, Mrs. Withers. There was talk in the village about you and Mr. Steinberger. Between you and me, was there an affair?
Between you and me? You know there wasn't. You wouldn't have a chance of mounting those dizzy heights. Oh, you mean between Otto and myself? Dear old Bunty, of course not. You don't want to listen to gossip, Inspector. Gossip. Don't like it personally. Mind you, I feel like I have to pass it on to someone who does.
Quite.
Is that it? I'll send it that awful little foreign person.
No, not yet. I wish to continue my line of investigation with you first.
Well, make it snappy. I'm getting bored to stiff with you.
Of course. Now, did you notice anything suspicious about tonight?
Yes. Well, no. Well, yes. No, maybe yes.
Just answer the question.
I thought I had. Now, don't try to trick me, Inspector. It's the sort of behavior that gives the force a bad name, especially amongst the criminal fraternity. Ask me who killed Mr. Steinberger instead, now that I've proved beyond all doubt that I didn't do it.
Very well. Who killed Otto Steinberger?
Haven't you spotted it yet? You should be back on the beat, Sergeant.
Inspector.
At present. Miss Soapy Bloody Adora Man. There's your murderer. That simpering little money-grabbing tart is guilty as hell. Sticks out like whatever it is that she keeps under that cheap dress of hers. Arrest immediately. Where's your sergeant fellow? Sergeant! Sergeant, arrest Miss Adoraman, take her down to the station and book her for the murder of Mr. Otto Steinberger. Motives, money and jealousy. Go.
Wait, Sergeant. Mrs. Withers, this is my inquiry. I suggest you pipe down.
Pipe down yourself, you dirty little man. Very well. Wait and see. Apologize later.
I will. Wait and see, I mean. Thank you, Sergeant.
Why don't they ever learn?
Thank you, Sergeant. So, you think Miss Mann was jealous?
She was jealous of me. It stands to reason. A good-looking, a vivacious girl at a dinner party.
I thought you didn't like her.
I meant me. That's what I'm saying. She meets me at a dinner party and all her petty jealousies float to the surface. A woman of the world with a great education and manners, face to face with a sort of like female Major Pongo Brown. Jealousy breeds quickly, Inspector. It grows to such an extent that it's worth killing for. Mark my words.
But she seems so sweet and innocent. Besides, if all you say is true, why didn't she kill you instead?
You don't willfully damage works of art, Inspector.
All right, you may go, for now.
And aren't you going to thank me?
For what?
For solving your murder, of course. Or are you going to pretend that you worked it out yourself? Man, I'll send in Wolf, whatever his name is.
I want to see. Ah, the special effects man. So you haven't made yourself disappear yet?
Please?
Oh, never mind. Why are you in this house? This inquiry? This whole damn business?
This what?
Why are you here?
Well, I'm special effecting for the film that Otto Steinberger is making.
I was making.
Quite. I'm a film man, Inspector. My world is film. I run through the gate and I project myself onto the walls, Inspector.
Strange behavior?
I am at one with celluloid.
Is that right? So you worked a lot with Mr. Steinberger. Did you like him?
No.
Is that it?
What?
Was he good at his craft? Was he impressive on location? I always thought I'd be rather good at all that. I see myself in a heroic role. What do you think, Mr. Recht? Bung.
I have no idea. I wouldn't have thought so.
Oh, thank you. What sort of camera did he use?
Olex.
All right, I only asked.
But enough about you and your hopeless ambitions. To more important tidings, Inspector. I received a black letter.
Aha.
Yes, a black letter, aha.
A black letter, curious. Could portend bad tidings.
Please?
Could be bad news. A death, perhaps. Perhaps a death. Aha.
It was a letter from Steinberger. I start.
Start.
I start. I translate. Oh, Steinberger's German. Very moldy indeed, old chappie. I start. I warmly extend my big one to you of friendship. When we meet, we shall shake each other's. I think I got that right. He invite me for the staying of. He breaks news of wifey's death. Complains of wind, of war in Europe, blah, blah, blah. Says he will meet me at Hampstead Station. I wait and wait and wait.
Let me see that. Oh,
Thank you for coming in Hampstead Station.
I thank you for coming in anticipation.
That's what I said. So I arrive with finalness. Where's Steinberger?
He's been murdered.
Oh, right. Otto and I were colleagues, filmmakers, Inspectorate, locked together by the Silvery Screen Award.
So that explains everything, does it, Mr. Reckbung? Wolfie? Filmmakers? I think not, sir. That explains nothing, absolutely nothing.
Well, I agree in entiretiness, but it does explain why I'm here. I was invited. Sort of. With regard to the second part of your question.
Question?
Why am I in this inquiry? I am in it.
You certainly are.
I am in it because I was here when whatever happened. Filmmakers, old crappy person. Filmmakers.
Quite.
Working to bring brightness into the dull, dreary lives of the populate. Cheer for mankind. Laughiness and tears.
Quite.
Securing bonds between Bighampton Manor and Old Vienne.
Quite.
Doing what comes naturally.
Oh, just shut up and get to the point.
All I say is that the art of the moving picture can be applied to many things. The automobile, the old banger, out for spinnings on a Sunday, old boy, medicine, open wide.
Murder?
Oh, certainly. There have been many movies devoted to this very subject. Otto Steinberg himself has pulled a big one or two out of the bag. But not in this case. No, Inspector. Look elsewhere for your murderer. Or is it suicide?
Of course not.
Look elsewhere, Inspector. Do I make myself clear?
No stone will be left unturned.
Ah, fine British joke, Inspector. Ready? Okay. Many seagulls at a drugs party. No turn was left unstoned. Unstoned! Get it, Inspector Chappie?
Some other time, Mr. Wolf. Let's talk about something else. Imagine for a moment that you have invented a perfect special effect. A special effect that would have people saying, how did they do that? But you're no orator, no salesman, not just a genius inventor. For the sake of the silver screen and all its promises, would it not be better to give the credit to another, more articulate filmmaker, to spread the word, milk it a bit, even if you yourself didn't benefit from it in financial or egotistical ways?
No.
Surely you mean yes, Wolfie?
Do I? I'm sorry. I wasn't listening.
Let's put it another way. Do you have access to Mr. Steinberger's files?
Yes and no.
I see. Now, stand by, sir. I'm going to ask you something very suddenly.
I'm ready.
Who killed Otto Steinberger?
I don't know.
I think you do, Mr. Sir. Why did you have a dagger hidden in your papers this evening?
May I answer the one about who killed Steinberger instead?
Very well.
Okay, before I went Londoning today,
yes,
I was in my room working on a secret project. I open my door and I hear voices, angry voices. They stop when they see me on the stairs.
Who did?
Steinberger and Mrs. Travesty.
Can you remember anything they said, anything at all?
So indistinct, I can't really.
You must remember something. Please think, sir. It's most important.
No, nothing.
Just one little thing, no matter how seemingly pointless.
Ah!
Yes?
No.
Please, please think, Mr. Wolf.
There was this one thing. Now, what was it? Let me see.
Yes, yes.
Ah, Mrs. Travesty shouted, "I'm going to kill you tonight, Mr. Steinberger."
Did she? Are you sure?
Not really, but please, may I go now, yeah?
Yeah. Yes. If you think of anything else useful, then let me know.
Of course.
Oh, I wish I had something to go on. Oh. Sit down, Mrs. Travesty. Over here, please. Let me get straight to the point. Did you like Mr. Steinberger? Mrs. Travesty?
Oh, I couldn't answer that, Inspector. It wouldn't like to speak of the dead, not like me at all.
So you know he's dead?
You told us.
Oh, yes, of course. You've been with the Steinbergers a long time, I believe. You knew the late Mrs. Steinberger, nursed her during her bedridden years.
Poor woman, a crippling illness, an ill-tempered Lothario of a husband, and me. What a pointless life. Not that I had anything to do with the Ovaltine.
Ovaltine?
I only took it up to her.
What?
Placed it nice and neat on her little table.
So what?
Brushed her lovely hair.
Mrs. Travesty?
Till it shined, I did.
Quite.
Frothy it was, all bubbly on the head and thick and sticky at the bottom.
Her hair?
No, the Ovaltine. Not that it had anything to do with her death, so you can put that right out of your mind.
Enough of this. We need to know about the death of Steinberger, not his stupid wife.
Oh, I say.
So, you've worked here a long time.
Many, many years with Lord Boxbury Soames. Box, we used to call him.
Ah, you shortened his name.
No, it was sort of his shape, sort of.
Okay, enough of this, Mrs. Travesty. Get on with the plot. So after Lord Boxbury Soames died, the Steinbergers took over Biggerhampton Manor.
You should know. You only lived down the road. Anyway, I watched Mr. Steinberger turn into a brooding man, Inspector. A brooding man. Lord knows I've tried, but he has turned against me in the home life, preferring the haunts of London.
Haunts?
It's all haunts up there. Scotland Yard, of course, haunts. And that's where Mr. Steinberger went, without so much as a small gratuity. After I cared for them, took them to my ample bosom, took them in.
Surely they took you in.
Sort of. We took each other in. Travers, that's what his dear departed wife used to call me. This was before she died, of course. She used to say, Travers, I'll see you all right. She didn't, of course. The will was never found. It all went to Mr. Steinberger as next of kin, and he was handing out no favours.
But surely some sort of pension.
Nothing. Dismissed me the day his wife died. And a couple of days later, he sent me a message saying he wanted to see me. I thought it was something to do with the will.
And was it?
No, it's to tell me I could work here odd days when he was at home for a small wage. That's no good to me, Inspector. I splash out a bit.
Have you seen a doctor about this?
Hey?
Oh, it doesn't matter. So, where do you live now?
I have lodgings over the butcher's with Tiddles.
Tiddles? The cat?
No, the butcher's boy. I know my place, Inspector. I don't know how to make ends meet. I've always been in service. Know my place. Been downstairs. The lower echelons, as my old dad used to say. I've always been poor but kindly. I used to have a jolly red face until life drained it away. Mrs. Steinberg used to say, Travers, that's what she called me.
I know.
Travers, she said as I brushed her long dark hair. Travers, I'll see you right.
So you said.
And she was gone. And me, I hear you ask? I faded away, crept below stairs, vanished. I know my place.
This is a murder inquiry, Mrs. Travesty. You'll need a few good alibis or your life won't be worth living.
It isn't.
Do you know anything about black envelopes?
I've never understood what envelopes are for.
Oh, forget it. Why do you have a dagger in your drawers? Tell me. And where were you before the murder? Tell me.
Well, I was in the kitchen, Inspector. I know my place. I was clearing up and making some eating mince pies I was going to embarrass Mr. Steinberger's friends with. They're a bit thick and crusty.
Oh, well, Major Pongo Brown, perhaps, but as for the others...
No, they're mince pies. And the answer to the third part is no.
Third part?
I wouldn't think of accepting a loan.
I wasn't suggesting.
As for the murderer, it was Reverend Acorn.
The good Reverend? I find that most unlikely.
It's obvious, and if a man of the cloth. Whatever next, I don't know.
Are you suggesting the Reverend is a plausible rogue?
I know my place.
And that place will not be in heaven if you carry on like this. Reverend Acorn, indeed. Where did you get this idea from?
Well, he's the greediest man I've ever met. He would stop at nothing to eat everything. And how can you do that when you've only got a small stipend? I tell you, you steal and you murder.
How do you know he's only got a small stipend?
Talk in the village. They do say the verger saw him get it out once in the post office.
Really?
Yes. And then he went and blew it in Mrs. Bannister's grocery store. The next day, he did the same thing again.
Good heavens.
So what I'm saying is, he seems to have a lot more money than he should have.
Eh? Oh, I see. Very well, Miss. Yes, I see. Thank you for the information.
I just don't have to answer for this on Judgment Day.
Don't worry, just mention my name. You may go. Ask Major Pongo Brown.
Certainly, sir. Certainly, sir. Thank you, sir. I'll leave you, sir. Major Brown, you want it?
Righto, Travers. Left wheel.
Make yourself at home, Major.
Always do. Drink, Inspector? Oh, no, not while you're on duty. That's what you chaps say, isn't it? Or some rubbish like that. Never mind. I'll have one, since we're in the mess.
Well, we certainly are, Major. Did you kill Otto Steinberger?
What? Stab a chap in the back? Kick him when he's down? Strictly reserved for the Hun, old boy. Can't behave like that in a civilized society. This is Britain, Inspector. Britain.
So the answer's no. Are you sure?
Of course I'm sure. I know damn well who did. Darlene Withers. Darling Darlene. Stands to reason.
Then why are you here tonight? Seems very strange. No connection with Steinberger, other than the fact that he found you a bore.
Rubbish. Thought I was a pucker chappie. Everybody does. No, look to Mrs. Withers for your killer, Inspector. Dagger to trim up some damn silly plant. Doesn't sound very plausible, does it? Woman's mental anyway. Everyone in the village says so. Never even comes into the pub for a game of darts. Still waters, Inspector. Still waters.
Do you know if she had an association with Otto Steinberger?
What? Well, yes, I mean, that is, not strictly. Yes. I mean, no.
Are you hiding something, Major?
Good heavens, no. Don't know much about Darlene Withers. Seems a nice enough cove to me.
But you've just accused her of murder.
Did I? Don't take any notice, Inspector. Have one for the road.
I'm not leaving, Inspector, and neither are you, Major. Do you know anything about black envelopes?
I had one in the army once, from an old girlfriend.
Black.
No, I think she was from Lowestoft. Black sticky job.
Wait, the girl?
No, the envelope, when I got it in the trenches. This runner was approaching, dodging the gunfire, running from tree to tree, finally arrived. As he breathed his last, he said, "Mail for you."
And it was a black envelope.
Yes.
Should have said blackmail then, eh?
What are you suggesting?
Blackmail. See?
What do you know about blackmail?
Oh, I was only saying,
Well, show some respect, man. Fella died.
Steinberger, yes.
Steinberger, the messenger boy. Don't give a damn about Steinberger. And you sure you know nothing about blackmail?
No.
Good. And don't mention it again.
No. You may... Oh. Go. Sergeant! Come in, Sergeant, and shut the door. In all my years on the force, I have never come across such a series of conflicting statements.
Sorry to hear that, sir.
They all admit to hating the deceased and all had access to a murder weapon. And every one of them accuses someone else of the crime. One of them already knows and they're not saying.
Which one's that, sir?
The murderer, of course, you fool. Oh, sorry, Sergeant. It's no use. I must confess.
You, sir? I can hardly believe it.
What? No, not me. I must confess that I'm baffled. I'm up against a brick wall. Somehow we've got to trick the murderer into a confession, but how? Oh, I wonder. Oh, it's too much of a long shot.
What is?
It has a 1 in 6 chance of success.
What has?
Bring them all in, Sergeant.
Very good, sir. This way, please. The inspector wants to see you.
Kindly take a seat. Sergeant, would you join me in for a moment, just in the hallway? Do excuse us. Make yourselves comfortable.
Well, what can it be?
Oh, be quiet. Give sensible people some time to think.
In Old Wien, we say trial and tribulation is a sad and mouldy schnitzel indeed.
Did you hear what I said? Be quiet.
Why do you always try to take charge? You're the same at jumble sales and coffee mornings. You're bossy.
No. Natural leadership. If you don't like it, find another parish.
Steady on, old girl. He won't need another parish if they find him guilty of murder.
Murder?
Yes, murder. And what's all this about black envelopes?
Inspector asked me about them. I said I didn't know. But I told him Reverend Acorn did the murder.
Mrs. Travesty, I shall condemn you from the pulpit. You will never ring my bell again.
The Acorn didn't do it. It was you, Mrs. Darlene Withers.
Wasn't.
Was.
Silence. We all know it was you with your pathetic film career, the best horizontal dancer in the business. It was you.
Oh, no, it wasn't.
Oh, yes, it was.
What are they doing out there? What do they know? I hope they don't think I did it. Because we all know that it was old Mrs. Travesty. Because Steinberger very angry with old Travis killing wife with Ovaltine.
Ovaltine? And it was nothing to do with me. I just gave her the Ovaltine. She never told me what finally killed her.
Maybe it was severe flatulence after your cooking.
You know something, don't you, Major?
I say, Gad, steady on.
You must tell the nice policeman something.
Anything. Want to, slip away, eh? Make some excuse.
No, not exactly.
Well, what then?
Well, You've got to tell them why you killed Otto Steinberger.
This is preposterous. It wasn't me. You war hero and all that. It was Withers.
Where will you be when I hold my next garden party, Major? Persona non grata, that will be you. And please, don't apologize later when Miss Viola Doraman has been beheaded or whatever they do.
Peace! All will be harmony again in our green and happy hamlet. The bell will toll again, and all this will be lost in the shrouds of time when our dear brother from a foreign land has been taken from us.
Please?
When you have been given the decapitating axe for your vile deeds in this house tonight, when your reign of terror is over, you foul special effects type, the bell, Rex Bung, whatever your name is, will toll for thee.
Please? You mean murder? Mrs. Travesty did murder. She nasty, mean old killer lady.
It was the Reverend Acorn.
No, simpleton, Withers did it.
I will not say it again. It was the Adoraman thing.
It wasn't me, silly. It was Major Pongo.
Ah, it was Rex Swine thingy, all right. Ghastly dagger to kill a few rats. Ha!
Mrs. Travesty.
Reverend, and you were vicar and all.
But it was...
Silence. They're coming back.
Murder.
Inspector, Sergeant, welcome back. How's the old plot going?
Thank you, Sergeant. Now, despite determined efforts to pull the wool over my eyes, I've managed to glean several important clues from my inquiries. That probably surprises you, doesn't it?
It astounds me. I should think we're about to hear some blundering guesswork from an inept half-bake. I have told you who is responsible for this murder of yours, and the fact that you haven't made an arrest yet is nothing short of criminal.
You clearly do not understand the workings of the legal mind, madam.
And you don't seem to understand the workings of the criminal mind, Inspector. Couldn't give a damn what Withers said.
Major?
I gave you the answer all shipshape.
And so have I, yet he won't listen.
No one ever listens to me. Not since poor Mrs. Steinberger passed on. I remember...
Oh, shut up.
Quite so, Mrs. Travesty.
Much as it pains me to deliver another of God's children to the gallows and to the lurid hollows that follow, I too have explained the crime.
As a deeply clever and arty old boy, I would like to...
Silence! Will you listen to what I have to say? I am the one who is solving the murder.
Well, solve it then already, for heaven's sake. I want to go to bed.
Oh, rude.
Will you be quiet, Mr. Rex Schreibung? Eh?
Washing up to do? Dirty dishes don't clean themselves, Inspector.
I didn't know that.
And I thought policemen were supposed to be clever. So tell us.
Well, let me take you back to earlier this evening when Mr. Otto Steinberger was...
Pardon, Inspector, but I found these 6 black envelopes.
6 envelopes? Good heavens, let me see. Where did you find them?
They were on the sideboard.
Really?
Who are the envelopes addressed to?
No one. They're all blank.
Envelopes?
Envelopes? No, envelopes.
Envelopes?
No, forget it.
Since there are 6 of them, and there are 6 of us, it stands to reason that we are intended to have one each.
Not necessarily. I shall keep these as evidence.
Of what? The Major's right. They're meant for us.
Oh, here, just a minute.
I shall have this one. Major? Yeah. Red thingy? Do you want one? All-intannual tart. Mrs. Travesty? Reverend?
Want that one?
No, I want it.
Give it back at once. I order you.
That's mine.
Get off.
That one's for me.
Oh, no, don't open them. They may be incriminating. No, don't open them. Pass them over. Please stop reading them. Oh, those envelopes were meant for me. Am I right in assuming that they contain clues as to the murder of Otto Steinberger? Well?
The contents of the envelopes is personal, Inspector, and have no connection to the crime.
Really?
Mhm.
Well, later in the course of my investigation, I shall no doubt wish to return to the envelopes. Failure to reveal their contents will result in immediate arrest. Anyway, time is short. Shall we continue?
To the bitter conclusion.
Quite. Now listen carefully. On our arrival at the scene of the crime, the sergeant and I made a modest search of the house, and I am proud and happy to tell you that we have established the location of the murder, how Otto Steinberger was murdered, and by who.
Whom?
I'll tell you that later.
No.
Yes. Wolfrecht thingy. Am I right in thinking that you were in the study tonight?
Oh, me, old friendship?
Yes, you. Of course he was, Inspector, probably copying a brand new idea of somebody.
Nonsensicalness.
So you weren't in the study?
Of course I was. Spent a long time reading through films and notebooks. The world of films, Inspector. The very world of films.
Of course. Did you leave the room at any time, for any reason?
What? Disturb the floor? Huh. In the field of film special effects, invention needs peace. Any disturbance could be ruinous. Steinberger being murdered hasn't helped at all. It's most inconsiderate.
Oh, what a nasty thing to say, you ungrateful pig, after he invited you to his house and was so kind.
Kind?
Kind.
So you never left the study, and yet the murder was committed there?
No.
Yes, it was in the study that Otto Steinberger was stabbed to death.
Good gracious.
A murder, Inspector?
I think it's safe to assume so, Reverend. Suicides don't happen like that.
Astute fella.
Thank you.
Well, in that case, Inspector, can we all go home? You're making me feel sick with all your grisly tales, and I have a long drive. Arrest this wolf person. He's obviously guilty. The study, the dagger, it all fits. Cold-blooded special effects person. Arrest him now, before he disappears without a trace. Arrest him before he blows us all up. We knew who did it, didn't we, Darlene?
We? It was I who said all along that the stupid man was guilty. Stands to reason. He's a foreigner.
You've been caught, Wolfie, baby. Your dagger gave it away. I mean, we all had daggers, but yours was much more daggery.
I kept it for a very good reason. You know that.
Rats?
Precisely. And you think I'm mad. Mad, huh?
Oh, be quiet.
Mrs. Withers, Miss Mann, shouldn't we let Mr. Wright Burke say a few words?
Well,
Guys,
What?
how long are you going to keep a murderer on the loose, Inspector? He must be taken to another place and be hung a lot.
Why don't you stop interfering?
Well, I thought you'd be impressed. Anyway, Wolf, I saw you leave the study. You were heading for the kitchen to see Mrs. Travesty.
You're right, he did come to see me. Mince pies, wasn't it?
Correct.
That's right, but they weren't ready, were they?
No.
It's as bad as the Reverend Acorn always eating. You got a soft spot for my mince pies, haven't you, Reverend? Do you remember the Christmas bazaar?
Shut up, Mrs. Travesty.
Oh.
Can we proceed? Miss Adora Mann, how did you know that Wolf left the study?
Well, because I saw him.
So you saw him entering the study?
No, leaving. I just said that.
Mr. Steinberger left the study?
Yeah, I saw it.
Mr. Steinberger?
Yes. I mean, no, it was Wolf Retschreing Bungle I saw.
Entering.
Leaving?
Right bung.
No, Bunty. I mean, Steinberg. I mean...
Arrest her, Inspector.
If you want to get away with this, you've got to concentrate.
Here, hang on a tick. At the time, Mr. Steinberg was on the telephone. He was talking urgently, probably to one of his sleazy friends.
He was talking to me.
Oh, beg your pardon. Anyway, after all the lights were fused, there was a mighty rumpus. People shouting, mysterious dragging noise and...
Yes.
And nothing.
So, Miss Adora Man, Otto Steinberger wasn't in the study.
Well, I don't know. I was too busy rehearsing my steps in the orangery.
In the dark.
Well, if it wasn't for that idiot Steinberger, none of this would have happened. I could have stayed in Regentstrasse, London, worst one, but he wanted me to return to the rural nonsense and stinking sheep and grass everywhere and mud on a nice shiny shoe. Then he made me feel uncomfortable, unwelcomeness, accused me of stealing his ideas, and said he wanted ownershipings of my life's work. It's called
Project X.
Not so loud. Yes, he wanted Project X to be his. He suggested that my last triumph, for which I was going to get an award, and a small statuette with my name on it, was all his own work.
It was, wasn't it?
Well, yes, but you don't want to be reminded of such things when you're the guest of honor, and yeah.
Who's the guest of honor?
I thought I was the guest of honor.
God, how I hated him. Hate. It's wonderful to know that the foul, overbearing, untalented Schweinhund has met his gruesome end.
So you didn't like him?
Never. He had to teach him a lesson that he wouldn't forget.
He'd soon forget if he was dead.
I had to get revenge.
By killing him?
Oh no. All I did was change an X to a Y in the working out on the blackboard. Got him. Oh, did you think I killed him, Inspector, Major, Reverend, Tarty Bit? No. That wouldn't do it at all. I didn't do it.
I know.
But he's your murder inspector. That was a confession if I ever heard one. And I've heard a few. A friend of mine once confessed to being in love with a llama.
Hey?
He said no need for alarm.
Silence. I hated stinking Steinberger. Pat on back. Jolly fellow. Bent on ruining my reputation. And I simply couldn't have that. After all, what's the point of being eccentric if you haven't got an overriding ability which can be used by others as an excuse for your strange behavior? Then you're just an idiot instead of an amiable and vague genius like me. Steinberger was about to prove that I was, in fact,
an idiot.
Precisely.
Mr. Wolf, I know you didn't kill Otto Steinberger. Mrs. Travesty.
Hey?
Mrs. Travesty, was it easy to enter the study while the wolf person was looking for you? Was it a pleasure to get rid of the man you hated? The man who deprived you of a decent living, ruined your life, stole your contentment, and condemned you to live forever with no money, on top of a smelly butcher's shop? Was it difficult to stab Otto Steinberger 7 times in the stomach?
Oh, I didn't do nothing. Tell him, Vicar, Major.
But he wasn't.
Yes?
Nothing.
Let me finish your sentence, Miss Mann. He wasn't stabbed 7 times in the stomach. Is that what you were going to say? You were right.
No, how could you put words in my mouth? I was going to say...
No, Miss Mann, you were right the first time. He wasn't stabbed 7 times in the stomach. He was stabbed in the back. With this.
Bloody blimey.
Yes. All right, I did it. Everyone wanted to, but I did it. I was being blackmailed by Otto stinking Steinberger. He knew all my secrets from my seedy past and had photographs to prove it. He would have exposed me, possibly more than the photographs did. But I didn't let him have his wicked way with me. It was a narrow escape, I can tell you, and I would have wanted to go through with it for the sake of my career, but I wouldn't have enjoyed it one bit. I hated him. His clawing hands, his nasty innuendos. He threatened to end my career on the silver screen. I couldn't have let that happen, Inspector. I just couldn't. A rare talent such as mine, undermined by a mere world-famous producer. Life for an artiste is all. No one can stand in the way in art. It was my big break, in my speciality written. It's nearly Shakespeare, and I got to dance. Oh, the dance. But I'll get away with it. You'll see. Here, Major. Let me go, Inspector. Back to my London haunts where I'll rebuild my career. You're all invited to the premiere. It'll be fun. A reunion. And we can talk about how we all performed together in the film of life. A dance. Tonight only. And the lovely, talented Miss Adora Man.
The game's up, okay? Why don't you just come quietly?
Yes, we'll be together. You'll be a star. Twinkle, twinkle, little.
Shut up, or I'll blow your brains out. Clear the way, everyone. London is calling. The lights, the smells, the roar of the traffic. I'll be there on the big stage. Oh, you'll all be watching me and wanting to... My God, Inspector, how did you establish that? I thought I'd committed the perfect crime.
The moment I arrived here tonight, I knew something was wrong. It was the way I found Mr. Steinberger's body hanging out of the cupboard. A quick search of the rooms established where Mr. Steinberger had been killed, and a quick examination of the impressive range of daggers told me which one had been used to deflate the unfortunate man. Simple so far, don't you agree? All we needed was the murderer. Often a difficult task in the force, but I did it. I mean, we did it. Call it policeman's intuition. Call it a hunch.
Call it a miracle.
Quite. But the envelopes were the key to the crime. It was my idea. My trained eyes watched your reactions, finding what amounted to a signed accusation from Otto Steinberger. I would like you to open the 6 envelopes. All will reveal innocence, apart from one, none other than Adora Man.
But you couldn't have known what was in the envelopes.
I didn't. That would have spoilt the fun. And what's more,
Ooh.
Miss Adora Man's initials in blood, written in blood by Otto Steinberger.
Oh.
Very impressive, sir. So Steinberger just had time to scrawl those letters with his own blood before he proceeded in an orderly manner to meet his maker.
Sort of thing. Thank you, Sergeant. I think that just about concludes the whole thing.
Don't we have something to ask the murderer, sir?
Oh, yes.
And that is?
You say it.
No. After you. You're the oldest.
Very well. Why did you kill Otto Steinberger?
Right. Why did you kill him? Tell us, you evil fiend.
Quite.
You despicable person.
Quite.
You scum.
Sergeant.
Sorry, sir.
I killed Otto Steinberger because he was standing in my way. Because I hated him. Because his sort do not deserve to live. Because I couldn't stand the ground he walked on. Because he was...
That's fine. That will do for now. Right, Sergeant. Take the murderer away.
Very good, sir. Why don't they ever learn?
I was going to say that.
Sorry, sir.
Well, it's time for me to say cheerio. You've been marvellous suspects, and I would like to thank each and every one of you for coming along tonight. After all, where would we be without you? Safely home, sweet dreams, and may tomorrow bring more of what you've always promised yourselves. And for the nice lady in row 21, hello, hello, hello. Good night, and thank you.